To be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. When I was learning about Nelson Mandela, I was really fascinated about how he fought against segregation and became the first black president of South Africa. I chose him because I was interested in learning about the history behind his honorable battle against segregation. Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela's father was a chief of the Thambu people. He served as the principal counselor to the acting king of the Thambu people. Nelson's father passed away when he was at a young age, so he was appointed as the new ward for the active king. Later on, his father defied the British government and was stripped of all of his power and his land. Nelson went to a segregated elementary school where he was stripped of his name Rolihlahla and was given the name Nelson. That was common practice in white society because they did not want to pronounce an African name and thought it was too much trouble for them. Growing up, Nelson would listen to the stories of his ancestors' valor during the wars of resistance, and this influenced Nelson Mandela to create his own contribution to the freedom struggle of his people. Because of the color of his skin, Mandela was held to being at the lowest social order, but because of his royal blood, he was able to attend a university only for black people, where he was later expelled for becoming an activist and protesting against the student government. Mandela would go from being the most famous political prisoner to South Africa's first black president. Nelson Mandela dedicated his life to fighting for equality. He helped topple South Africa's racist system of apartheid. Nelson Mandela became a part-time law student at Wits University and opened up the first black law firm. He later joined the ANC, the African National Congress group, where he fought for the civil rights of black South Africans. In 1948, the ruling party of South Africa adopted apartheid. Apartheid was a system of legislation that upheld segregation policies against non-white citizens of South Africa. This law required black South Africans to always carry identification in order to enter all white areas. They were segregated into all black communities, and interracial relationships were banned in the country, and they were eventually fully disfranchised. In 1952, Nelson Mandela became a leader of the Defiance Campaign and motivated black participants to break the segregation laws, and were later imprisoned for breaking their curfew and not carrying around their identifications. After his imprisonment, Mandela learned that the only way to get the attention of South Africa was to take up arms. Mandela left the country to receive military training and gain support from other allies. While he was in prison, police found documents about Mandela's plans and tried him for treason. He was sentenced to life in prison. Nelson Mandela believed that he was going to be executed, and on his trial, he delivered a 4-hour-long speech titled, "I Am Prepared to Die." While in prison, he was given a chance to leave if he promised that the ANC would give up violence. Mandela refused. He became the world's best political prisoner, and even though his words were banned from the country, he was the most famous person in all of South Africa. In 1960, members of the United Nations began to call for sanctions against South Africa. It wasn't until 1990 where there was an international pressure and a threat of civil war that F.W. de Klerk released Mandela from prison and promised to end apartheid. In 1994, Nelson Mandela became the first black South African president in his years in office. He introduced housing, education, and economic development initiatives designed to improve the living standard of the country's black population. He created the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which was designed to document human rights violations and focused on repair rather than retribution. Every year, on June 18th, he is remembered on Nelson Mandela's International Day, a United Nations holiday that commemorates his service and sacrifice. It's a reminder that Nelson Mandela's work is not yet done. Over the years, Mandela experienced segregation firsthand and became the voice of his people. In the beginning, he was against violence and took up the law to fight against apartheid and joined a non-violent group to protest against segregation. After this had no effect, Mandela changed his whole demeanor and took up arms and became military trained in order to make a difference. Even after his presidency, Nelson Mandela still worked to end poverty and raise awareness of HIV/AIDS. Mandela fought for the rights of all black South Africans, but I don't believe he fought for the people of different class, gender, or other ethnicities. A way that he could strengthen his work was to include all races, a little bit more with people in different class and gender equality. Overall, I believe even without including all of these, he impacted South Africa and was able to break the country free from segregation. In the world of Rolihlahla lesson, Nelson Mandela's words, the true test of our devotion to freedom is just the beginning. Thank you.